Hello everyone. It's been long, and a really long time where I have spoken to you all and connected with you all when I myself have my personal experiences during the retrogrades. And this is my personal year of Mercury going, which means I need to take decisions very fast. I need to not ponder over situations or think too much in life. And I need to even grab opportunities. And very truly, the way I always practice what I preach. And this was a time when I truly reflected upon my own self also, did a bit of introspection, especially when Mercury was going retrograde last month. And also now that the Jupiter is retrograde and Saturn is going retrograde again, and with Ketu actually clearing up my illusions, there is certain things, or there were certain situations, or certain I would say things that came to light, and it cleared a lot of my thoughts. Now all this clarity actually took place is because I was being truly reflective, I was being introspective, I was actually taking care and charge of my own life. Normally what happens in everyday's work is that you keep working and you keep striving to do your best, and you keep thinking as if the life is too short and we have miles to go before I sleep. So that kind of a temperament or that kind of a phenomena happens at my age. But what happens at the age of 50 is you feel as if the time is slipping down and you need to sow your seeds if you haven't sown them. At the age of 30, the parameters are very different, because you feel that you're wild and this is your energy levels are very high. So you don't actually stop to reflect, even if knowing that we need to stop, we need to reflect, we need to pay attention to these retrogrades. And sure enough, I would like to share a few things with you, that my emotional life has been seeing all these swings, or it has been going high, it has been going low. And I definitely take care of my EQ levels, because they are directly in relation to my IQ levels. And my EQ, if it is stronger, my intelligence is more productive. But if my EQ is weak, my intelligence also suffers. And personally speaking, I have seen even when my clients are coming, or even when my friends are coming in, we are all actually, our conversations are laced with, or the conversations are underlined with things of how to handle our emotions. What do I do? Because emotionally I'm fragile. Such a situation or such a person has emotionally affected me. And normally you get affected by those emotions which are very closely related to your heart. And people who are very closely related to you, or for whom you feel like, whether it is your parents, whether it is your siblings, whether it is your partners, your personal partners, or your own children. So the people you're born from or born with, to the people you give birth to and you relate to, is where your emotions actually start rallying around. How do I handle my emotions in the toughest of situations? Well, my experience also tells you that I also handle my emotions by going with the flow. And the best way to handle your emotions is when you allow yourself the liberated view of feeling free and being your authentic self. Don't hold yourself, be what you are, love what you are, and love being what you are. Don't try, like mostly I have seen people saying, you should behave in a particular way. I don't believe in that. I believe that if I have to manipulate even my own self, my own authentic self, if I have to manipulate my views on how I should behave, probably I'll never feel liberated, never feel creative in my mind, and never feel free. So my take on this, or the Jupiter retrograde or the Saturn retrograde, has actually taught me to love myself. when I reflect back on my achievements, when I reflect back on how truthful I have been, and even when I reflect back that I have my part that I played in any relationship, whether it is from parents to the partners to the children, I have played it with deepest honesty. I have not tried to garb myself. I feel so free today because I fear nobody. And talking about secrets, I feel weak are the people who have something to hide. Strong are the people who have nothing to hide. They're actually leading a very dedicated life and a very honest life who are what they are. Take me as I am. Now, if I have to be nice, or if I have to be good, or if I feel that I want a harmonious relationship around me, I'm not going to accept or expect this harmony from other people. I'm going to try to rectify myself, correct myself, be myself, and that is the energy that I attract from the people at large. I understand I'm gullible. I understand that I get carried away by people. I understand that yes, I am very honest with my relationships and I take people at face value. Now all these four things that I have said are the weaknesses of mine is actually what I need to rectify according to the other people. That I need to rectify this so that I safeguard myself. I safeguard myself from being hurt. I safeguard myself. No, I am better off being vulnerable because I believe in the fact it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I do learn from my lessons and I have the strong ability of being hurt and immediately balming my wounds by not being dependent upon either a person or a situation to give me my strength. So my strength lies in my own negativities which I've actually taken, or my faults. I wouldn't call the word negativity is a wrong word using it. I would say I would take strength from my faults and be the person I am because I love the way I am. And this way I can handle my emotions very well. Because when you love unconditionally. When you love with the purity of intent. And you are also mentally prepared that if it is not balanced in the same way or not reciprocated in the same way, I can still dust myself up and be strong enough to move on in life. So whether it's my allegiance or my love or my I would say duty towards my parents, I do it what makes me happy. I have the strength of also knowing that there are certain things that I don't like about my parents, but because I love them so much, respect comes automatically, and this also teaches me patience of trying to understand what they are wanting to say, at least respecting them by not answering them back, and also loving them for giving me the liberty to choose the path that they are trying to show. Whether I choose that or whether I don't choose that is my prerogative. Now, when I choose something which is not akin to their way of thinking or not akin to what they have advised me to, I should have the ability and strength to prove it to them that the path that I have chosen for myself has made me an achiever. Eventually they will love and respect me for what I am. So, for some time I may have disillusioned them, or for some time I may have... Now that some time needn't be lifelong. For the some time is actually doing things according to the phases that we are in. Like birth to a particular kind of, let's say for example the maximum is 34 or maximum 32 to 34, I should have had all my learnings done. Then from that 32 to 41 I am in my earning period. 41 to 50 I am in my earning and burning period. And 50 onwards is I reap the benefits of all the seeds sown that I have done it in the last 3 phases of my life. If I can just keep those parameters to myself, and let's say before the age of 32, I have gone against, like the biggest example is, I am basically like, we have communities in India. Like we have a farmers community, then we have the Brahmins prerogative, then we have the people who are in a different professions. So I belong to an agriculture background. So according to the agriculture background, I have actually jumped to something which was the prerogative of the Brahmins, that is astrology, or combining my psychology and astrology. Now, when I was in my learning period, my parents were quite baffled because they wanted me either to be an engineer or a doctor or get into the commerce. For them, mixing my psychology and astrology together was an anathema. They were kind of ballistic. They were like, what are you doing? That is not the path that is meant for us. So even to the point of annoying or probably keep making my parents baffled with my decisions, I pursued my path, but not at the cost of being arrogant or disrespectful to them. I just believed in myself, my confidence was there, and I knew that yes, I will do my graduation, I will do my psychology, but eventually I will do what gives me the true passion, what I'm passionate about. And that time, probably the bottom line was making people liberated from their own thought processes. I wanted to empower people so that they could lead the life most authentically with the purity of intent, enjoy the life that they have rather than barely exit it. Or just living a life is more important than existing in life. So today, at my age of 62, I realized that when Jupiter was going retrograde, I reflected back on all the years that have I done a job well? And my answer was yes, I've done a job well. And I was proud of myself. I didn't require endorsements from people. Or I didn't require awards to be, to tell me how good I am. Because as easily, at the point of sounding even a little immodest, I would say, awards can be bought dime a dozen. But what is the true achievement, or what is the true award, is when you can look into your own eyes and feel happy and invigorated that you have achieved your mission in life. Because it's never achieved your mission in life, but at least you are going towards your destination in a very, very healthy way, and you feel happy for having at least been close enough to gaining what you wanted to do and what gives you the most happiness. That's the truest reward, and that is where your emotional quotient also becomes stronger, because the self-belief in you is more stronger. So the EQ automatically will be this thing. So during the process, I also reflected that okay, now from a particular age of learning, when I come into the earnings, have I earned well for myself and my family? The answer was again very correctly put, yes. I have been able to give the best to my children or to my family, or live a good comfortable life myself with my own earnings, and that also gave me my emotional satisfaction. So automatically, intellectually you feel happy with yourself, emotionally you feel happy with yourself. Then comes the prospect where you say that now when I retire, have I done enough of my savings, or have I been able to follow my passions without thinking of the earning part of it? My answer would again be yes, because golf, which is my passion, which I started about 12 years back, and it has given me so much of spiritual satisfaction, along with giving me making me psychologically strong and physically very strong. Again the answer came as yes. So here my EQ goes stronger by the day. Now as the life processes, it's not that everything is hunky-dory for me. I also, like all normal human beings do, have my highs and lows, because there are certain situations that maybe are not according to my parameters. Maybe like the way my parents are sometimes, they felt confused and baffled as to which direction I was going. I also feel the same for my children or for my grandchildren. These are concerns. These are concerns because you love your children, because you want your loved ones to do very well. It's not only children, it's about your friends, about the family at large, because people you start connecting with is where you want people to do well, and sometimes advertently or inadvertently you tend to be intrusive. And when you're told how to back off or chill off, your EQ levels can be shattered a little bit, and it can go down, which have gone down for me also very many times. But like they say, when you actually learn how to understand the perceptions of other people and you yourself, that is where the profound experience takes place, is which I also read today from the quotation of Sadhguru, that it's important to perceive things from the other person's point of view also. And what happens that time, you are able to correct your lows and come high. So your EQ levels again become balanced. So if by chance or perchance you do get hurt from other people, you are immediately able to balm those wounds of yourself, because your personal confidence does not get shattered. And during this retrograde, even when Saturn is going retrograde, it helped me actually analyze, it helped me understand that now I need to learn how to cut off the apron strings from everybody who I love or who I feel concerned about. So it's important that my relationships are maintained, or to maintain my relationships, I need to allow people to go on their own journeys. I need to allow my loved ones to go on their own journey, as I would like to go on my own journey, which I have set for myself, or I have visualized for myself for till my final day. What do I need to do? I want to travel a lot, I want to see the places, I want to probably golf a lot, probably I want to get into writing my books, or probably even teaching the knowledge that I have actually gained over a couple of years. And that is how I have realized, and which I never did a couple of probably years before. I never thought that I would actually impart with the knowledge that I have learned or I have gathered, and probably reach out to the world or to those keen learners in life who are interested in actually learning how I go about with astrology, and how I believe that creating your own prophecies is more powerful than giving predictions. And that's where the Saturn retrograde helped me restructure, recalibrate myself and reorganize myself, so that I could start teaching people who are keen on learning the same part or the same profession the way I do. Because it's a combination of so many things. It helps you to build your EQ, it helps you to build your IQ. You are actually returning back to the world what you have learned or taken from the world. It makes you a complete human being. So along with the highs and lows of life, you are not only better able to re-energize yourself, but you also are able to be self-motivated to actually go down to the low and then again come up to the high, because always there's a motivation in your mind, an incentive in your mind that this is the life that I would like to live. So these retrogrades have taught me a lot. And one of the most beautiful lessons probably I can leave in this world is if I could impart my way of knowledge or my way of understanding astrology to the people who are keen on learning it. And therefore I recalibrate, restructure myself, restructure my thoughts, and probably the next years of my life I would dedicate to people, apart from what I normally do, is to let people know how they can utilize this beautiful knowledge and not only impart themselves but impart the world at large.